Welcome you guys to Chris Wrestling Reviews, of course, here on YouTube.com. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, you guys, and join today. I know I'm late on doing my WWE Monday Night Raw review, but here we go. Of course, next week, you guys, on Monday Night Raw, we will have the Tribal Chief himself, Roman Reigns. A lot of people are speculating, will Roman Reigns retire as the Tribal Chief, or is he retiring from professional wrestling in general? Because the way it feels like Roman Reigns will not win, that triple threat match. But we'll get more into that when we do, when I do my WrestleMania prediction video. But yes, you guys, at the end of the show is where I want to start at, is pretty much Paul Heyman came out there and said he would never be disloyal, to Roman Reigns nor CM Punk. He will always stay loyal to them. And pretty much, he went on and, talked. But long before he can even get any more words out, Seth Rollins ends up coming out looking into the face of Paul Heyman. Now, a lot of the times we know when people start talking to Paul Heyman, he'll start, crying or something like that, for TV purposes and all. But thing was, Seth Rollins broke Paul Heyman down and making him realize some stuff, like when Solo Sikoa, when he was like, when Roman Reigns left and he was gone for, for X amount of time until he came back around SummerSlam, he was left with Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline, and they pretty much put him through the table. And Seth Rollins said, both of your kids, and he named the kids on there, had to witness their father getting put through the table because of Roman Reigns wouldn't come. And then next thing you know, you guys, another key factor that Seth Rollins pointed out, he is definitely right, because he said CM Punk said at one point that he's not there to make friends, he's there to make money, and he only got into that Survivor Series match because he wanted to use a favor from Paul Heyman. And of course, Seth Rollins was, of course, asking how much he was worth or whatever, and he'll curb stomp Paul Heyman into the mat. And then, of course, after then, CM Punk ends up coming out. They brawl a little bit and stuff like that, and Seth Rollins about to curb stomp Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman ends up hearing the words from Seth Rollins, "Now you owe me a favor." And I was like, well, dang. I was like, what is all these favors? I'm like, this stuff like this makes WWE very interesting. And it makes this triple threat match very interesting. A lot of people are like, oh, man, we're going to get a triple threat match with these three. It ain't going to really be about nothing. But it's at least getting something very interesting. A lot of people are speculating that, Seth Rollins is going to join Paul Heyman. But we will see next Saturday, you guys. So, of course, you guys, Adam Pearce pretty much opened up the show talking about, the Women's World Championship. Of course, he's ended up getting Rhea Ripley out there, but he said the member of the Judgment Day or something like that, Rhea Ripley. I was like, oh, man. I was like, you messed up. And, of course, Michael Cole called him out on it. And was like, I don't know where Adam Pearce's head is at or anything like that, but it was real funny. Yes, you guys, so Bianca Belair, she was getting booed, you guys, in Minnesota last night. Of course, she got booed every time she went over, when she was over on that European tour. She was definitely booed. And then, how she said, she fought her way to win the Elimination Chamber, outlasted, even though two of her friends got into a fight in there with, they were talking about Jay and Naomi. But still, then again, Io Sky ends up getting out the ring, didn't sign a contract, and kicked the back of Rhea Ripley. And a lot of people are wondering right now if Rhea Ripley is injured, is some of the rumors that are going around. But thing is, you guys, Io Sky, I don't know, she may lose. It's going to be very interesting to actually see what's going to happen. But they said it was some blood on Rhea Ripley because she ran into the shoulder of Bianca when Io Sky kicked Rhea Ripley in the back and bumped right into Bianca Belair. And yeah, we'll definitely have to stay tuned and see, if there's any words or anything going to come out. Bayley, of course, she did fight Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Championship. And thing with that, you guys, we ended up seeing where Lyra Valkyria had hit off the turnbuckle, where Bayley snatched her leg and her head just bounced off the turnbuckle. But referee started to stop the match, but she wanted to continue on. And of course, you can see she's holding the Intercontinental Championship. Who is a top contender right now, you guys, that could challenge Lyra Valkyria for that Intercontinental Championship? Let me know down in the comments below. Next, you guys, we want to talk about Bayley, of course, slapping the hand of Lyra Valkyria after the match. And of course, they got to team up this Friday to do that gauntlet match thing or whatever for whoever's going to be the number one contenders for the Women's Tag Team Championships. We'll see who it's going to be. And of course, Bayley. I didn't realize she was still a hugger, but that was kind of, I was like, okay, wow. Of course, you see Bayley has like a furious face and everything, looking at the Intercontinental Championship, and Lyra Valkyria just smiling right in her face. I feel like Lyra Valkyria needs to be a heel, you guys, like big time. Of course, then we get Karrion Kross backstage talking to AJ Styles and telling him, that he needs to beat Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Of course, Scarlett's there with her husband, Karrion Kross, or Killer Cross. But anyways, you guys, El Grande Americano ended up coming out having I think was it a 6-way? No, it was a 6-man tag match. And of course, Ivy Now was out there to give him some kind of metal thing that goes inside the mask. Went for a diving headbutt, which is the finisher of El Grande Americano, which of course, like I said, I feel like it's still Jack Gable. But anyways, we'll probably see what's going to happen there. But there was a thing backstage, you guys, where Rey Mysterio was talking to Adam Pearce and pretty much demanded to have a match, against Americano, and that match was made official. Anyways, you guys, for WrestleMania, of course, this is the moment I want to talk about. Jey Uso. The way everyone wanted him to come out, the black shirt, the glasses, not yeeting with the crowd, not doing any of that, but he snatches the mic from Gunther, and Gunther was looking like angry, looking like, well, dang, you gonna snatch the mic from me. But biggest thing was Jey Uso ended up saying, hey, Gunther, you got a mom? And then he was like, you have this, you have that. And then so Jay ended up, saying that, his mom, he's talked to his mom. He's like, do you talk to your mom? And he was like, he had the answer of what happened to Jimmy. And of course, he said that Jimmy had like 15 stitches in the crosshead forehead. And then so he pretty much proceeds on to say that he's going to go, the night before WrestleMania, he's going to go home, lay down, and he's going to pray. And once he prays, after he said he's gonna pray, he said he's gonna pray because of the man I'm about to become. And then, man, that made Gunther look so sad, like, oh shit, I don't cross the line now. Like, oh shoot, like, look at him right here, you guys. Look at Gunther right here. You can tell he was like, I should never did that, because Jay also mentioned about the blood that being wiped, Jimmy's blood being wiped, on Gunther's body and stuff like that, while Jimmy's arm was on the thing. He said he realized he wasn't scared of him anymore, and so on and so forth. But it was a good promo. I suggest you guys to go here on youtube.com, watch it right now. Of course, you guys, Jay ends up staring at Gunther. You can see Gunther looking like, just a sad old little man and everything. But this was the thing I was talking about with Rey Mysterio. I meant to put this before, but anyways, you already know now. Of course, you guys, the New Day ended up fighting the War Raiders for the World Tag Team Championship, excuse me. And but long before then, I wasn't really into this match at all. I'm like, whatever. Because I knew some kind of DQ thing was going to happen. And, yeah, they didn't, New Day didn't end up winning the tag team championships. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I don't care. All right, then we had the guy, Tony Hinchcliffe. And he's going to be the host, of course, of WrestleMania next Saturday and, of course, Sunday as well. I can't wait for WrestleMania next weekend, you guys. A lot of people don't like this guy. They gave him a lot of heat on Twitter. You guys definitely need to check it out. I won't talk about it on here. I don't have too much time. But, you guys, of course, it was made official earlier yesterday, way before Raw came on. It would be Penta versus Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Who do you guys have winning? I don't care, actually, who wins. I would love to see, someone new as champion, but still Braun Breaker, though. Yes, you guys. So, of course, right here we had Dominic Mysterio talking to Finn Balor. well, Finn Balor was talking to Dominic Mysterio, pretty much, saying that, he's a loser, he's a failure. And of course, you've seen how Liv Morgan was looking at Finn Balor. And of course, Dominic Mysterio ended up getting beat by Penta. Of course, Carlito came in and jumped Penta and started beating him down. And Carlito was trying to get, the attention from Dominic, like, come on, man, beat him down, beat him down. And then, of course, after then, we heard the music of Braun Breaker. But I want you guys to see this small little clip. Don't let it miss you, or how Braun Breaker speared the mess out of Carlito. Bam! That was the part I wanted you guys to see. It was definitely incredible. And Braun Breaker, like I said, he's one of the most athletic people in WWE. Of course, we got Io Sky and Bianca Belair. They're very athletic too. But Braun Breaker, as far as the men, I would say he's the most athletic one. Of course, it was kind of crazy because Finn Balor held the title. He looked at Dominic, didn't try to help him up or anything like he did the past couple weeks where he always, where he helped him up. Of course, two Judge Day members are fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. Finn Balor holding up the title. Could this be the scenery of the end of WrestleMania? Who knows? Looks like Dominic may be coming back as a babyface and feuding with Finn. Let me know what your thoughts are on Monday Night Raw. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com. If you're watching this on TikTok, Chris944. Follow me on TikTok as well, and that's KHRIS944 on TikTok for more videos like this.